everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Next in Time podcast. I'm your host, Esti Tangarella, and today our guest is none other than Eliot Bennie. He is the founder and CEO of Founders Collab. He has worked in sales and business development, is looking to help startups grow. As described in the Biz Journal in a local Cincinnati newspaper, his startup, Founders Collab, aims to be the LinkedIn for startups, where if you are a startup founder or an advisor or an investor, this is the perfect place for you to help find your next deal or or be able to find a collaborative partner. So, Elliot, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, ST. Excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad you are able to come, and hopefully the the time spent in Cincinnati is like worth it.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely worth it. It's 8 o'clock here. My girlfriend and I were hungry, but I really wanted to join you here and chat about what's coming up in the future.
Yeah, no, at least you guys are lucky your weather is better there at the moment because we've been dealing with a heat wave here in California for the past couple of days now, and I've been trying to find ways on how to keep myself mentally sane throughout it because heat just doesn't let me perform well in any situation.
Likewise, yeah, likewise. Yeah, I heard you guys have to like kind of conserve your electricity. Is that what I'm hearing, or what's going on with that out in California?
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to conserve our electricity, but I don't think I have conserved any because I'm a what I call a power waster. I waste power, I waste water at the end, but at least I'm taken care of. But I think eventually that free ride will come to an end soon. But I'm hopefully we'll just I'll be at a situation where I won't be having any water. So I just have to be prepared to conserve that time.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Yeah, it's one of the things we take for granted in America, and yeah, I would say your footprint is quite large if that's the case.
Yeah, well, less footprint than the factories, that's for sure.
There we go. Yeah, exactly, exactly.
All right, cool. But how's been work for you with your startup with everything going?
Man, things have been great. Things have been going well. So I got this going. What was this 4 months ago, 5 months ago? It's amazing how quick time flies and how much is accomplished when you're building and how much still needs to be accomplished. But things have been going well. I just hired a great person in Madison. She is heading up the community as well as doing some organic marketing. So
All right,
she's really taking that in stride and running with it.
all right, that makes sense. I really appreciate the fact that you're able to now delegate your work to other people. And
It's tough. It's tough, especially when you're building by yourself in your office for a good 6 months, and you're doing everything. You know, you're head of sales, you're head of marketing, you're head of website development, you're head of product, and now you have someone that can kind of take some of that off your plate. It's tough, but she's been awesome. I think one big thing to kind of keep in mind as you do grow and bring on people. I thought it'd be one of those things where you kind of, hey, okay, you're going to handle this, and like it's going to be less work for me. However, that's not the case. It's a lot more work, especially short term. But I think long term, we're really going to hit our stride, and it'll be the best for the company.
right, and also you also I think one of the local newspapers called you the LinkedIn for startups, right?
Yeah, yeah. So Liz wrote that article. I did an interview with her at a local coffee shop. She's brilliant. She wrote a great article. Very humbled. I actually don't like attention that much, but I knew I wanted to do it for the
Uh,
business,
yeah,
and
same here. Funny thing is, I hate attention, but I have to do it. I have to run a podcast because, in order to do the same thing, we're kind of have some similarities in a way.
exactly. Yeah, it was great. I've got some awesome people around me that supported me and saw that, and they're really happy, which made me happy.
All right, cool. So let's get on with where you came from. Let's get to know more about Elliot. Like has Elliot who is Elliot and how did he grow into this amazing entrepreneur?
Yeah. Thank you for the kind words. Still have a lot of work to do. But we grew up really poor actually. So my mom was she immigrated to the United States when she was 23. She was a
Or
nanny, and my dad was
where's she
working
from?
Southampton, England.
Oh, Southampton. Okay.
Yeah, are you familiar? It's like 2 hours south of London.
I lived in Norwich for a year. I did a master's degree over there.
Oh, really cool. That's
Yeah,
awesome, man. Where is that in relation to London?
like you said, 2 hours south. Norwich is 2 hours northeast.
Okay. 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 Yeah, it's crazy too. We're talking about this. The Queen died today. Like,
Yeah, rest in
people are like,
peace.
yeah, I mean, they're saying they're running out of flowers because everyone's putting the flowers up at Buckingham Palace.
Yeah, I mean, as part of this recording, just want to let you know the Queen of the UK has passed away, which is I would say it's a sad thing, but at the same time, it's like that's history been going away in a moment's notice.
Right? Breaking news. ST bringing it live from Buckingham Palace, actually from space with that background, but our viewers can't see that obviously. Yeah, it's weird. So my mom actually talked to her right when it happened, and she's never known anything different. The Queen was what 97, I think. Like it's
96.
96. Yeah, not a lot has changed. So that's all she knows. So I think it's gonna take her a few days to get over that.
Yeah, I wanted to meet the Queen when I was there, but never got the chance. I just wanted to Buckingham Palace. But anyways, yeah, go back. Let's go back to your background and where
Cool.
we
Yeah.
left
And
off.
so yeah, my pops he worked on roads. And then they kind of, they had me. I think from traveling with my mom to Europe, really helped me understand a lot about cultures and how to treat people and just life in general. And then let's see here. Went to school, didn't really know what I wanted to do. Went down to Florida for a year and just had a job and hung out on the beach. Then moved to Denver, Colorado, and that's kind of where my software, career took off. I sold software for 7 years, and then yeah, I've been building this the past 6 months. So yeah, that's kind of where it's led.
All right. So what do you feel like I think is it about your experience with poverty that kind of motivated you to become an entrepreneur?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. I don't think I wouldn't say we were poverty. We were in poverty. We had the things we needed. But what I learned from that is, my dad worked construction, so work ethic. Learned a ton from that because when you're a manual laborer, like you're up at 5 a.m. and you get sunburnt and all that stuff. So seeing that work ethic of him leaving, all day to provide for the family, and then my mom working at night, being a waitress after she had me actually, just getting that work ethic and understanding like what it takes to be successful. And now fast forward to today, my mom is super successful in real estate, and my dad just sold his business that he's been working on for 17 years. So it's
Oh,
kind of
congratulations.
yeah. So I've seen how what it takes, firsthand, being a kid like that, and yeah, I kind of want to follow in their footsteps and make them proud.
Yeah, that's kind of like me in a way. I just wanted to make something myself with everything going. But
Exactly.
in
It's not
order
easy.
to, yeah, no, it's not easy, but you got to fight through it. But
Yep.
another question I was going to ask is that what was your like? What? Yeah, tell me about your background about like your career in a way. Let's say you graduated college or something, and then you started working in sales. Like, what were those initial experiences like for you?
Yeah, so out in Denver, I got on board with a company called Exactly. And I was a lower level sales rep. Like I said, I just kind of grinded. My hours were, 5 a.m. to 3 p.m. I was working East Coast hours in Mountain Time Zone. And I just,
Like, remote work existed back then.
no, oh no. We were in a cube farm. We had a cube farm. Bunch of cubicles. But what was neat and what I learned about that experience is, we actually eventually had an IPO. So it was like a late stage startup to IPO when I joined. So on our, we had I think like 80 people, and like within a year we were up to like 200. So just like seeing how quick things change and move and evolve. Now that's not where I'm at with Founders Collab, obviously, but in 3 to 5 years, that's kind of where I want to be, as far as just roaring, knocking down walls, adding people, and going crazy. So yeah, and after that, I kind of just kept running with sales. I was good at it, but towards the end, I sold software for 7 years. Couple startups I worked with. One pulled data from wearables, so I was part of the go-to-market team with that. We also automated the hiring process with a company called Tiller. I was part of go-to-market with that, and then most recently, I was with a healthcare company, and yeah, it was just treading water, and just needed to get out of sales. So I've always had this idea and wanted to build it, and here we are. A lot of
Yeah,
sleepless nights later.
A lot of sleepless nights. You just came up with the idea of Founders Collab. Like, how did you come up with it? Like, I just wondering, what was the catalyst as to why you wanted to start this?
Yeah, it's failure rate. It's I've seen how, was in the startup ecosystem for like 5 years, and it's just that the failure rates is very alarming. And I think one of those reasons is because we're very siloed. Whether it's founders, whether it's investors, whether it's advisors, and that's why I kind of want to bring everyone together to help improve that.
Got it. So you just wanted to just be able to build, foster that community in a way.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep.
All right. So yeah, tell me about those initial 6 months till today, like what you've been doing with getting Founders Collab started.
Yeah, so I walked into awesome guys named Adam Kaler. He helped. He was a co-founder at Dot Loop that had an exit with Zillow, and he's kind of been with me along the ride. And I came to him after I left my job, and I was like, "Hey, I've got this idea. Very very similar, I think, to your earlier point. There's a company called Pavilion, and that kind of I just love that aspect of bringing people together to increase revenue." And I wanted to do that for founders. So Adam helped me build this website. We've gone through so many phases of it, which has been great. And he's kind of really worked with me the past 6 months. So yeah, I had started with the website. I was manually doing everything, and then brought in this product, this platform, which is the mobile app and web portal, where I can kind of bring everyone together. And that's what I've been working on, just adding members and making sure that everything, providing more value to the community.
Like, are you currently doing the bulk of the sales right now, like in terms of promoting Founders Collab to everyone at the moment?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. The majority. So that's really one nice thing about Madison is she's handling the community like inside of the company, and I'm able to work on the company with those sales, reaching out to folks. Yeah, exactly. That's on my shoulders right now. Would love to expand the team though.
Yeah. So what stage are you currently with the company?
So
Like,
we're go ahead.
are you currently like you've already built your product? You just want to build. You already built the platform, and you also have someone at least managing the inside of the company. But how, in terms of, let's say, the typical startup stages, where are you at in terms of funding, and where are you with that?
Yeah, currently bootstrapped. I want to run with this for at least a year or two, see what it becomes. So right now we're bootstrapped, pre-seed. Would love to get an investment, maybe Q2, Q3 of next year. Obviously, the environment right now isn't the greatest for funding, but I think it is going to come around 2023. So that's kind of when it's going to be time. That phase will be, time to really scale, grow that business team. Add some other folks in some other areas and see where this thing goes.
Good. And so, why is it that people are looking to be able to like use your product as a way to build their relationships with?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about how successful LinkedIn's been, it's basically that, but it's going to be narrowed down to startup founders, advisors, and investors. I want this to be an exclusive community as well. That's why we had that $15 a month. I want some skin in the game for everyone. But yeah, I think as far as communication, you can live stream, you can post, you can connect one-on-one. We're gonna have some events later in the year. Yeah, it's full circle.
Like, are you looking to just set up only in Cincinnati, or you're trying to see if you can grow this beyond Cincinnati?
Yeah, so we're starting in Cincinnati, and then we're going to scale out. So we want to hit the Midwest, then Austin, then the Silicon Valley, Denver, those kind of cities. But I'm trying to do it as strategic as possible. I don't want things to go crazy, so I'm trying to keep it as local. But if anyone in the United States is interested and wants to be part of a community of startup founders, advisors, and investors, we'd love to have you and love to chat with you to see how we can help.
Got it. And what types of problems do you think startups can be able to get solved with your platform, let's say?
Yeah, I mean, it's really comes down to community, right? I would be nothing without my network. I'm sure you wouldn't be anything either. So having an advisor, if you're a startup founder, having an advisor to lead you along the way is like so many things change, right? Throughout a 1 month a year when you're building the company, that you need that advisor, once a month, twice a month, whatever the case might be, to gear you in the right direction. And then the investor side, once you start making revenue, having those investors to be able to DM and connect with and get intros with, that obviously helps as well.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering because of the nature of how these platforms are built. There's so many platforms out there that are similar to yours. I've already interviewed someone on my show, that is part of this startup called Entra, where
Mm-hmm.
they're looking to foster the entrepreneurship and collaboration and everything going. And
Mm-hmm.
so there's plenty of competition, plenty of startups out there that do what you're doing right now, which is trying to foster that collaboration between startups, investors, and advisors.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what is it that you're trying to be different from them, and when you're trying to, let's say, get this thing built?
Yeah, so as far as differences in Entra, it's just another angle. It's a mobile app. It's probably going to be cheaper as well. So we had a low rate of $15 a month. And I really want to, build this. I want to keep it small. I think some of these platforms can get out of control. But really have the product as far as the app goes. It really looks a lot like Reddit. So where you can have groups and it's more on the smaller scale. So it's more of a personalized experience.
Yeah, because eventually there might be, the paradox of a lot of these platforms is that
Mhm.
when the number of people come, like the more number of people come, the more it could get tainted. Like
Yep.
you've seen that example with Clubhouse,
Yep.
right? Where it was originally kind of like a niche platform for people to just communicate with their audiences more upfront, but then because of the fact that the masses have come and especially due to the pandemic, the masses have come and then taken over the platform, and now it's just not like the same as what it was before.
Mhm.
So how are you looking to make it? Uh, you know, how are you? Because $15 a month, it is a what I call a high commodity product, let's say, or it's very affordable. People can come in
Mhm.
and people can afford it. People can come in, and the issue is that people that can just enable more. Let's just say the masses to come in, flock it, and then they can just cause a bit of a rupture in the app. How are you able to make it seem like okay, at least you're able to make a good amount of revenue, but at the same time maintain the community more in a very decent manner, in a decent way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, the community is our crown jewel. We obsess over it. I mean, heck, I hired someone to really keep an eye on it. And I'm in it daily. I get what you mean. It can get congested with crap too. I mean, if you think of LinkedIn now, you got all these ads and spam messages. It gets convoluted. So we don't have ads. We don't have any of those spam messages. And yeah, we vet everyone as well. We want to make sure it's a good fit, that you're going to, enjoy the community and enjoy the networking aspects. So that's kind of, yeah, just keeping an eye on it every day.
Okay, and also you're not looking to make it happen. You're just more likely just offering this $15 a month as your main way of using the platform, and then because I mean that's the thing. I mean that's the concern I have is that the reason why Entra they charge 100 something per month or per year or something. I forget how much they're charging, but I think the same thing. You're charging $15 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking to offer packages, or is it just simply just that flat rate of 15 a month?
Yeah, so we're keeping it at that 15 a month right now. Again, there's a lot of hypotheses involved. There's few levers I can pull as well. But right now, I just want to keep it affordable for the community and run with it and see what happens. Price changes, obviously those wouldn't affect current members, but once we hit 50 to 100, I think a price increase might go up to $30 a month. But again, it's a hypothesis now, and we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
And so, what do you feel are some major challenges that you see in terms of fostering that vision, that whole building the community, charging 15 a month, making sure everyone is taken care of? People will start complaining that okay, I'm not able to find founders on this.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be getting those concerns coming from people saying, okay, I can't find founders, I can't find investors, I can't find all those people. So how are you? So what were you trying to do to make sure that there's a balance in all three of them?
Yeah, so I mean, it's the cold start problem, it's getting this community going, and then word of mouth, want that to take over, and we're just getting started. These are all folks that I've spoken to that reach out to me. We haven't done any outbound stuff, very little organic marketing, which is going to increase here in Q4. But yeah, man, just keep tackling every problem and continuing to go.
All right, and are you looking to attract all kinds of startups for this platform and investors and all that?
Absolutely. Yep. All types. Our sweet spot's really 0 to 3 years, being in business. That's what I envision being great for the community.
Do you feel like you're going to attract, in terms of the types of startups that are going to join your platform? Do you feel like you're going to be attracting not just early stage startups, but also let's say mid, like seed level, like post, like Series A beyond kind of startups? Also, are you looking to, let's say, foster a kind of like a mixed set of different kinds of startups rather than just like one, like rather than just early stage? Because plenty of platforms out there, they focus heavily on early stage just because there's a huge mass growth. There's like masses of people. Let's say,
Hmm.
it's like a pyramid. Let's say on the bottom you see in the pre-seed early stage level that you get a bunch of people, but then it starts narrowing down when you go past seed, then Series A, then Series B, then all the way to the top, all the way to unicorn. You're just like a handful of people become a unicorn.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
so, so what you're trying to do is like you're trying to foster all kinds, right? Or what's the case?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. That's 0 to 3 years. Yeah. Whether that's, you're bootstrapping it, whether you got seed funding. But yeah. Yeah. Looking for all the above. I really think what the sweet spot though is those, Series A and down, because that's when things are really being built and really moving along, where people do need that advice, need that mentorship, and which can foster those relationships with investors.
Yeah. So what are you still looking to hold events on that platform, or is it just like just events to bring people into the platform?
Yeah, so it'll be events within the platform.
Got it.
Yep.
Makes all right. That's very noble to be able to bring events on the platform because I think I would say I just want to declare this to the rest of the world, but I think you have a good amount of competition going on.
Hmm.
There are plenty of startups, plenty of organizations that just focus on providing that community, and there's like plenty of those out there. So
Hmm.
my advice would be, I mean, I know I'm saying this on a podcast, but my advice would be just make sure you find a way to differentiate yourself from them.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate that feedback, and yeah, we're working every day to differentiate ourselves.
All right, cool. So let me just continue wrapping up our conversation. So, in terms of advice, so what advice would you give to other founders since you're building a platform that helps collaboration on founders and providing the soil for other kinds of ventures to flourish? Like, what advice would you give to these founders and other visionaries of the future?
Oh man, it's man, there's so much that's involved. Just keep going. That's my big thing. You run these highs and these lows, and yeah, you just got to keep going. It takes time. I think that's a big thing as well. Like, a lot of startups, want to get, investment without any, revenue, and want to do everything in 3 6 month intervals. These things take years to build. So just keep going, whether it's you work a full, work a part-time job, or whatever the case might be. Just keep going.
All right, cool, Elliot. Yeah, I just want to thank you again for taking the time to come on the Next in Time podcast, and I'm looking forward to seeing your how the startup will turn out to be.
Awesome. Thank you, SD.